Welcome! My name is Kim Kenville. I'm a professor of aviation at the University of North Dakota. This past year, I've been on sabbatical and created a series of videos for airport board members. Video 1 is designed to give new and returning board members insight into how airports are owned and operated and determine what type of board you have just joined. In addition, Video 2 will cover state laws and policies that board members should be aware of and meeting etiquette. Video 3 will look at specific guidance and policies surrounding airport finances, capital projects, and funding. It will also discuss outside consultant and contractor selection. The final item to be talked about are the critical documents and training that all board members should have access to and knowledge of to ensure success. This project is being undertaken as a professional development endeavor on behalf of the University of North Dakota in conjunction with the North Dakota Aeronautics Commission. Therefore, many examples used throughout this training may be specifically directed to airport board members in North Dakota. This is not legally binding and just acts as advice to airport board members. Congratulations are in order. The mayor just appointed you to become a member of your local airport board. After the excitement wears off, you begin to think about what this means and how you'll prepare for the first meeting. As the quote says, society expects much from volunteer board members. In turn, we need to thoughtfully prepare and support them. Rarely do new board members arrive at their first board meeting ready to jump in the fray. Most just have familiarity with the organization and no formal training. Finding ways to orientate and educate your board on a regular basis about their important role, as well as the issues surrounding the organization, are a high priority and will enhance board member engagement from the volunteer. Some important questions to think about is: what is my actual role on the board? Do I have any real authority? Are there certain rules that need to be followed? Video 1 will talk about the airport as an organization and how it fits into the broader scope of the local, state, and federal landscape, as well as much used aviation acronyms. Are you on an advisory or an authority board? The answer to this question is dependent on your airport ownership or governance structure. There are several ways to own and operate an airport in the United States. City or county ownership is often referred to as municipal. This type of ownership structure has an advisory board appointed by the mayor or the council to advise the larger elected body on items at the airport, such as personnel, budgets, finance, or purchasing. This airport is normally managed as a department of the city or county government, and the airport manager is a city or county employee. Oftentimes, this advisory board is put in place to offer expertise and guidance to the airport manager prior to the larger elected council or commission. If you find yourself on an airport authority or port authority board, this is the type of airport ownership that is found in state statutes set by the state legislature, recognizing a quasi-governmental unit that owns it as a public entity. This type of airport ownership structure will have an authority board appointed through the means of governing documents. It will also have the ability to hire, fire, set budgets, and receive funds. North Dakota Century Code 2-06-02 is the creation of municipal and regional airport authorities. It is a governing body of a municipality by resolution that may be created for an airport authority or choose to exercise the power provided to municipal or regional airport authority under this chapter. It is important to understand that airport ownership or governance and determine what type of board you have been appointed to. Airport ownership in the United States is controlled locally, either by a city, a county, a state, or an authority. It is important for any board member to obtain, read, and understand the legal and governing documents for the airport. That could be bylaws, resolutions, articles of organization, and to fully understand the board and the level of authority vested in the board. It's important for members to understand what they can and cannot do based on the board's governing documents. The role of the board is to set organizational policy, direction, and goals, to ensure a safe, secure, and efficient operation, to assist in the development of the strategic plan and direction of the airport and monitor its progress, to support, evaluate the airport manager, providing opportunities for airport growth and economic development, and being of value to the community and the national airspace system. It's important to set fiscal policy and budgets, elect a board chair and corresponding committees, and execute contracts, approve plans, and select consultants and service providers. The role of the airport executive, which often is referred to as the CEO, the manager, the executive director, is to provide safe and secure and efficient airport operations. The airport manager should also research and recommend policy to the board and effectively execute the board's policies. It's important to keep the airport board informed and be a good financial steward of the airport's budget. The airport manager should also provide guidance based on regulations and compliance with those regulations. It's important to have good organizational effectiveness and to serve the public. The FAA and the aviation industry have an infinite number of acronyms used daily and understood throughout the industry. This link will provide a basis for the vast majority, but always ask the question when you don't understand an abbreviation or an acronym. The Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, sets most regulatory guidance for publicly owned and operated airports. This has been in effect since 1926. Some states and local governments have guidance as well, but this has largely been left up to the FAA. The U.S. Congress delegates authority and compliance activity for civil public use aviation to the FAA. The National Plan of Integrated Airport Systems, commonly referred to as NIPIAS, is a federal report to Congress which includes some publicly owned and operated airports in the United States and territories. These airports are of national importance and will receive yearly funding, known as entitlement grants, as well as follow all FAA guidance, regulations, and policies. Airports that are not included in the federal plan are classified as non-NIPIAS and thus not funded by the FAA and do not have to comply with FAA regulation. It is important to determine if your airport is a NIPIAS, meaning federally funded and obligated, or a non-NIPIAS airport, not federally funded or obligated. This slide represents the National Plan of Integrated Airport Systems, federally funded airports. The map represents the 3,300 airports in the United States that are federally funded and federally obligated. As you can see in the chart, there's about 19,000 airports across the United States, but only around 3,200 to 3,300 are funded and obligated to the FAA. Airports in the United States are generally categorized as either air carrier airports or general aviation. Air carrier airports serve the domestic passenger base in the United States and are categorized by large, medium, small, and non-hub. This is based on their yearly passenger enplanement data, which also includes essential air service, which are small commercial service airports. The other category is general aviation airports, and they are categorized by the number of operations and based aircraft. In summary, in this video series, we've discussed whether you may be on an airport advisory board or an authority board, and the importance of finding and reading your guiding documents. We talked about the role of the board, and we talked about understanding the role and support need for the airport director, as well as introduced various areas for aviation acronyms and the FAA airport classification system, and understanding if your airport is a NIPIAS or non-NIPIAS airport. Thanks for watching, and you make it a great day.